And we've seen this time and time again. When you nail this, your clients become an extension of your marketing team by spreading the word about how awesome you are. So, I want to break this down for you in more simple terms because when you truly nail these advocacy strategies, something incredible happens. Your clients stop being just clients, they become your most powerful marketing asset. I'm Sylvia Garibaldi, founder and CEO of a well-established marketing training and done-for-you services company, tailored specifically for the modern legal and financial professional worldwide. While it's taken some trial and error to figure out which methods get the best results for professionals who are looking to grow their practices, fast forward to today, my team and I have nailed down and perfected a process that has helped so many of our clients consistently achieve outstanding results and create a legacy for their practices. I created the Serve First, Sell Later marketing podcast to give you simple, actionable, non-salesy, and results-driven marketing to grow your legal or financial practice like so many of our clients have. If you're a lawyer, mediator, financial, or divorce professional who is looking to become highly visible and wants to create a practice that makes an impact, then you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 59 of the Serve First, Sell Later marketing podcast. I'm your host, Sylvia Garibaldi. So I want you to think about a recent client case or mediation that you just completed. You just closed a case, you shook hands with your client, and watched them walk out the door. Feels like a win, right? Well, wrong, because that moment should not be the end. It's actually the most critical beginning of all. So here's the hard truth most practices miss. The greatest marketing tool that you'll ever have isn't a flashy ad campaign or a viral post. It's actually sitting right there in front of you, and that's your satisfied clients. So today, I want to unlock an action plan that turns one-time clients into your greatest advocates. And these are people who don't just refer to you, but actively champion your cause. So imagine an unstoppable network of referrals, a reputation that precedes you, and really a community that grows your practice exponentially. Sounds pretty powerful, right? Well, that's exactly what I want to show you in today's episode. So I'm going to talk about how to reframe every client interaction as a growth opportunity. I'm going to share proven strategies to turn clients into advocates who flood your inbox with referrals. The secret to building a practice that thrives on loyalty and not luck. That's going to be super important. And then I'm going to share with you an action plan, a plan that you should be engaging in every single day to create this playbook that I'm going to be sharing with you in this episode. So let's dive in. So I want to talk about what's going to change the game for your practice. And as I mentioned, it's client retention. And I'm not just talking about keeping clients happy. I'm talking about turning them into your practice's most powerful growth engine. And so here's a stat that might blow your mind. Retaining clients is 5 times, yes, 5 times cheaper than hunting down new ones. And this is a statistic that's general for a lot of industries. So think about that for a second. Every client you keep is essentially money that you're saving without working extra hours or spending a dime on marketing. But it's not just about saving money, because when clients refer you, they're bringing in people who are already pre-aligned with your practice's values and growth. And these are quality connections that understand exactly what you do. So let me share a quick story. A client of ours who's a divorce attorney who doesn't just close cases, she actually builds relationships. And so after finalizing a divorce, what she does is she sends her clients resources about co-parenting, check-ins during holidays, and genuinely shows that she cares beyond the billable hours. And the result is her clients become her biggest advocates. And she does this over and over again. So here's the critical mindset shift. Retention isn't just about completing a case. It's about building lasting relationships that extend far beyond the courtroom or mediation table. So imagine having clients who don't just hire you once, but who see you as their go to resource for life. That's not just good for business, right? That's transformative practice building. So, want to know the secret here? It's pretty simple. Show that you care, follow up, stay connected, and be more than just a transaction. So, it's really important to think about how you can do this. So, I want to dive deeper into what this could look like. So, let's dive into, I guess, the meat and potatoes, if you will, of client retention strategies. And these are the techniques that'll turn your one time clients into lifelong advocates. So, firstly, we need to look at building a client centric experience. And this is all about making your clients feel like VIPs. Use their names, remember details about their families or situations, and follow up with helpful updates or resources. So, for example, imagine sending a thoughtful card during the holidays or when a client's child graduates. It's these little touches that show that you care beyond the billable hours. Now, setting clear expectations is also pretty important. So, you need to walk your clients through the process step by step. So, think of it like giving them a roadmap for their journey with you as their trusted guide. So many professionals miss this step. They just, will continue communicating here and there with their clients, but they don't communicate at every step of the way. Super important. It keeps them engaged. It tells them that you're thinking about them, and it shows them that you have a process like most experts do. Okay. So let's talk about over delivering on value. And you've heard me speak about this. This is where you can really shine. So, for divorce and family law attorneys out there, you can consider offering a free co parenting guide. For estate planning lawyers, you can think about providing resources on updating plans after major life changes. And so these extras, they don't cost much, but they mean the world to your clients. So staying in touch after the case ends is a game changer. Quarterly updates on relevant changes or trends that you see, you're still thinking about your clients' needs and you're sharing them with them, right? That's another update right there, another touch. And don't forget about celebrating those milestones. A quick note acknowledging a work promotion or, as I mentioned, a child's graduation can go a long way. Now, let's talk about making referrals easier. So, you need to create a simple process for clients to refer others to you. So, you could say something like, "We'd love to assist someone that you know. Here's an easy way to connect with us." We do the same thing at SG and Associates. When we're working with our clients, we always give them little updates. We share with them, hey, if you know anyone that's interested in our services, please feel free to send them an email, make an introduction. I would be most grateful. But what I've realized as well is if I don't do this frequently enough, your clients forget because they get busy. They're thinking about what they need to get done. So it's super important for us as the service provider to ensure that we're giving them these reminders. Okay. Lastly, feedback is so important. Feedback is gold. So I want you to conduct post case surveys tailored to your practice area specifically. So you could ask questions like, what part of the mediation process was most helpful? Or how clear was the estate planning process? So when you implement suggestions from this feedback, it lets your clients know, hey, I'm listening, and it shows that you are always wanting to improve the process and to get the best results for them. So remember that these strategies aren't just about retaining clients, they're about creating a community around your practice. And I think when you nail these techniques, you're not just a lawyer or a mediator anymore. You actually become a trusted advisor, a go to resource. And if I dare say, friend, right? So trust me, implementing even a few of these, you will see a difference in your practice and your clients will thank you, and your future self will thank you too. All right. So, how do we turn your satisfied clients into your biggest cheerleaders? So, what's the first step? And I think it's important to highlight those success stories and don't be shy about asking for testimonials. A simple question like, what part of this experience helped you feel supported and confident? A question like that can really give you such powerful information. And I think, these testimonials are gold. You need to sprinkle them throughout your website, your social media, and marketing materials. And so when you ask your client, what part of this experience, what part of this journey helped you feel most supported and confident while we were working together? And some of those answers might surprise you. So I think it's an important question to ask all the time. And just that simple question that I'm sharing with you, the answer to that can be a testimonial, right? You can get a testimonial formulated just from having a client answer that question. Okay? So for mediators, I want you to think about how your conflict resolution skills maybe transformed a toxic workplace and how you helped it turn into a collaborative dream team. Okay, that's a great example of how to think about it. Maybe as an estate planning attorney, you can share a case study showing how your proactive planning saved a family from a messy inheritance dispute, right? Something that could have happened. And these stories, they resonate and they show your real world impact. So, whatever type of law you're practicing, if you are a divorce professional, maybe you're a divorce financial analyst, think about how these situations that you helped resolve, how it actually changed your client's life after having worked with you. Okay. So I want to also spend a moment now and talk about building a community around your practice because this is all related, right? So this is where you become more than just a service provider, you become a valuable resource. So I want you to think about hosting workshops or webinars tailored to your clients' needs. For example, divorce attorneys, you could maybe think about a webinar or a workshop that's financial steps after divorce. Estate planners, you can consider how to talk to your family about your estate plan. Mediators, you could run a session on maintaining peaceful work environments after mediation. Okay. These are all workshops and value added information sessions that help them deal with the reality now that they have completed working with you. So, what this does is it plants the seed. Okay. You're giving them information, you're teaching them, and other situations will crop up where they will need your attention. Either they will need your attention or they're going to refer other people who need your help. Do you see where I'm going with this? Okay. So, for those working with divorce clients, you can think about creating maybe a private network focused on rebuilding and thriving after divorce, right? And this not only provides value, but keeps you connected to your clients and referrals long term. For social media, make sure you share tailored content that showcases your expertise. You can share tips, success stories, gentle reminders, things that you know your clients need to know about. And when your clients have wins, you want to celebrate them, right? With permission, of course. And it really just shows that you care about their success beyond your direct involvement. So let's talk about promoting long term relationships. What do I mean by this? So, for attorneys, you can consider offering annual check ins for maybe estate plans, or you could do custody agreement modifications. You could do co parenting plans, updating co parenting plans. For mediators, for workplace mediators, you can think about maintenance sessions or follow up mediations. And what this does is these are just ongoing services that keep you connected and relevant, right? Connected and relevant in your clients' lives. So we have workplace mediator clients that do this really well and are continually booked just by using this one strategy that I shared with you, right? Offering those workshops and webinars on a monthly basis to actually keep their clients engaged and interested in what they have to offer. So, I think it's important to remember that fostering this kind of advocacy isn't just about asking for favors. It's about creating so much value that your clients can't help but sing your praises. And we've seen this time and time again. When you nail this, your clients become an extension of your marketing team by spreading the word about how awesome you are. So, I want to break this down for you in more simple terms because when you truly nail these advocacy strategies, something incredible happens. Your clients stop being just clients, they become your most powerful marketing asset. So think about it. In a world of endless advertising and digital noise, people trust recommendations from real people. And when your client tells a friend, hey, you've got to work with Sarah because she completely changed my divorce process and the outcome that I got, or this workplace mediator saved our company from a potential lawsuit. That's just all marketing gold, right? It's marketing gold. It's like having a sales team that works 24/7, except they're not on your payroll. So these advocates are genuinely excited to share their experience. And they're not just referring you, they're telling a story. They're telling a story of how you didn't just solve a problem for them, but how you've just helped them through a challenging life or workplace moment. Let me give you another real world example. So one of our workplace mediators had a client so impressed with her compassionate approach that the client started recommending her to so many different people within her professional network. So we're talking other companies, professional associations, CEOs that she knew. And this was within a short period of time that this mediator's referral base just grew exponentially. And the best part was she didn't spend any dollars on advertising to get this kind of marketing results. So that's the power of turning clients into advocates. They really just become walking, talking testimonials, and they're not just spreading your name, they're spreading the story of how you changed their life or their work environment. So, when I say your clients become an extension of your marketing team, I actually mean it, right? Because they're out there. They're out there unprompted, telling your story, sharing your value, and bringing new clients directly to your door. All right, I want to share some more real life examples that show how powerful these strategies can be because I really believe that you can do this too. Okay, so I have a couple of stories that I think will really impress you. First off, let me tell you about Sarah, who's a client of ours and a workplace mediator. So, Sarah worked with a tech company on some pretty intense workplace conflicts. And she didn't just solve the immediate problem and disappear, right? In our coaching calls with Sarah, we developed a strategy about how do we stay in touch? What do we need to do to stay in touch? So we created a plan that allowed Sarah to stay in touch with the HR team by sending them relevant articles about maybe how to maintain positive work environments, free follow up sessions 6 months later. We sprinkled in lunch and learns for management. And guess what happened? That tech company started growing like crazy, opening new offices in so many different locations. And with growth, you know what comes next? Growing pains, right? So you can imagine whenever a new conflict popped up, who do you think they called? They called Sarah, right? She's been their go to mediator for years now, all because she went that extra mile to maintain that relationship. And so we helped her craft that plan about how do we keep the relationship going? What do we need to do to ensure that you're front and center with your past clients so that A, they can maybe be a client again, depending on the type of work that you do, or B, actually send you referrals on an ongoing basis. Okay, here's another quick example. A family law attorney of ours, Mark, he actually implemented a simple but effective follow up process. So, what happened there was after each case, he'd send a personalized card on the 1 year anniversary of the case closing, and he was just checking in, right? So, he also remembered important dates. So, that shows his past clients that he's thinking about them, like when the divorce was finalized. He'll send a quick supportive email on those days. He'll send a card. So he checked in to see how the parenting plan was working out 6 months later, right? So these are check ins that are important to your client. And the result, of course, was his clients not only felt cared for long after their cases were closed, but they were referring people to him as well, right? Mark's referral rate increased significantly. And when he did those co parenting check in plans that I just talked to you about, you can only imagine what happens next, right? It needed to be revised as he checks in with his clients. Things have changed. Some more challenges have popped up between the ex spouses. And so he was there to rewrite that co parenting plan, to revise it, to give them the advice that they need. Okay. So I want you to think about this for a second. Whatever type of work you do within the legal, mediation, or divorce space, I want you to think about when was the last time you recommended a professional because they went above and beyond for you. So maybe it was a hairstylist who remembered exactly how you like your hair from the last time that you went, or maybe a mechanic who explained everything in plain English for you and didn't try to upsell you. Those are the things that we remember and keep us engaged and wowed by that experience. So that feeling of being truly cared for, of someone going the extra mile, that's what turns clients into advocates. And within the legal and mediation spaces, that's pure gold. Okay? So you may be asking yourself, how do I become a Sarah or a Mark in my field? So I want to walk you through this so that you can have an action plan about what you can do to achieve this success as well. So, what small, thoughtful action can you take today that's really going to help your clients feel valued months or even years down the line? So, how do we do this? I want to walk you through a quick process that we take our clients through so that you can become a client retention superstar. So, I want you to think about these questions and write down your answers. So, what's one small, thoughtful action that you can take this week that you can show a past client that you're still thinking about them? Think about your last 3 clients. What personal details do you remember about them or their cases that you could reference in a follow up? What's a common challenge that your clients face after their case is closed? Okay, so think about that. How could you create a resource to help them with this? If you were to host a workshop for past clients, I want you to think about what topic would be most valuable to them right now. Okay. So let's take the example of divorce. They've gone through a divorce. They're now living post divorce. What are the challenges that crop up? Maybe it's the parenting plan. Maybe it's how to deal with upcoming holidays or what to do with the pet, right? So think about all the things that you know could be coming up. What's one way that you could streamline your communication process to ensure that your clients are always feeling informed and valued? And this is a big one, okay? This is when you're actually still working with your clients. So these questions that I've shared with you, these are just the starting point, okay? Because they're designed to get you thinking about your clients as individuals first, with ongoing needs, and that they're not just case numbers. So, this week, I want you to reach out to one past client with a personalized message or resource. Next week, think about maybe brainstorming a valuable workshop or webinar that you can offer every single month. And in the next month, I want you to think about how you can implement one new system to improve client communication or client follow up. So, for example, maybe you think about, okay, I see that there's a missing step. Once they fill out the paperwork, they're kind of wondering, hey, what do I do next? And as I'm doing work on my end, I should be sending them an email in the interim saying, yes, thank you, received your information, and this is what we're working on next. You can expect to hear from me in the next couple of days with what you need to do next. Something along the lines of whatever there's a gap. that you can implement. That's just one small step, right? You want to really look at the whole process, but just to get you taking action, maybe just think about one step that you can do that closes the gap for your clients or keeps them more informed about the process. Okay. So remember, becoming a client retention superstar doesn't happen overnight. I'm being very realistic about this. It's about consistently showing your clients that you care. And it can start today, it can start right now. It's not that this will take years to implement. It just takes some time, but it takes action today and it takes action consistently to achieve this. Okay. So I've shared with you the keys to really turning satisfied clients into loyal advocates. But really, if I could be honest with you, this is only half the battle. The real transformation comes in when you take action, because action that not only sustains your practice, but elevates it is going to be super, super important to create that thriving practice. And here's the truth. The moment your client walks out the door, it's not the end of the story. It's the start of a new chapter, one where your work continues to ripple outward, impacting lives and growing your reputation. And, I think that's so important to think about that because many professionals think, okay, this case is closed, the mediation, is complete, I'm done. This process is done. The client, I don't really need to check in. I don't really need to do anything with them. But that's the wrong strategy because you actually need a strategy post client outcome, right? And that's really about turning that vision into a step by step plan. And I want to share that with you right now so that you can start to create this plan. So it starts with step one, which is take one action today. All right. So take a moment to reconnect with one past client, send them a personalized message that references something specific about their particular situation, their challenges, or their achievements since working with you. So, for example, you can say, "Hi, Mary, I was just thinking about the co parenting plan we worked on 6 months ago. How's it going? If there's anything you'd like to revisit, let me know. I'm happy to help." Okay. And so, why this short email like this matters is because small actions build trust and show your clients that you genuinely care about their success, even when the case is long behind you. Okay. Step two, you need to add value beyond expectations. Okay. And this is where a lot of professionals miss this step. You need to identify one reoccurring challenge that your clients face after their situation or their outcome or their case ends. So maybe you create a simple resource to address it. Maybe it's a guide, a checklist, maybe a series of email updates. So, for example, for divorce attorneys, you might offer a post divorce financial checklist. Estate planners could provide the top 5 life events that call for an estate plan update. Whatever it is, why this matters is because when you provide solutions to ongoing challenges, you establish yourself as an indispensable resource and not just a service provider. So these resources are super important. And if I had to pick one that would be the most important and the one that is most valuable, I would say it would be a reoccurring webinar or workshop that you put on a consistent basis. Okay, step number 3 is you want to build a system of connection. So you need to build a process for consistent client follow-up. So set reminders for key dates like the anniversary of a case resolution or milestones that your clients might celebrate. Consider quarterly updates on trends, tips, or other resources. And you want to send these personalized check-ins either annually, maybe you're sharing newsletters or updates quarterly. As I mentioned, you're hosting webinars or workshops to provide ongoing value. And I think that this kind of consistency is really the foundation of long-term relationships. And what we see is that clients who feel supported and stay connected are more likely to recommend your services to others. And I think that's a really important point that I hope really resonates with you and allows you to take action. Okay, step number 4 is amplifying success stories. So you need to gather testimonials. It's super important, whether they are, anonymous or with a client's name, but you need to have them. So you can You can ask an open ended question like, what part of the process made you feel supported? Or what stood out most about working with us? And you need to use these stories to highlight your impact in so many different places from an online perspective your website, your social media, other materials. Super, super important. And so, you know, there are example stories that I know my clients have shared with me that have really resonated with me and impressed me. And I thought, wow, these would make really great testimonials. So, a workplace mediator who helped a company reduce conflicts by 70% just with doing follow up services that sustained a positive work environment. That's pretty powerful. Or an estate planner whose proactive guidance actually saved a family from an inheritance dispute. Okay, so think about that. These real stories, they resonate, they create emotional connections, and super important to make them relatable to your clients. And step number 5 is, building a thriving community. And so you need to take your relationship building to the next level by creating a network around your practice. So how do you do that? You host workshops, you host webinars, you host small events tailored directly to your clients' needs, right? So divorce attorneys, they could run a life after divorce workshop. Estate planners could offer something like talking about your will with your family, right? These are ongoing workshops that help them take your completed work to the next level and can actually help them think about you more often and refer to you. So you can consider exclusive client groups or a private online network or quarterly meetups, right? I mean, the the options out there are endless. You just need to be creative and you need to be consistent about how you want to create this sense of belonging for your clients. And I think why this matters is because people gravitate towards communities where they feel most valued. Okay. Step number 6. Step number 6 is make it easy for your clients to refer to you. Okay, so I want you to think about how can I develop a simple referral process, such as a card or an email, with an easy way for clients to introduce you. So, for example, if you know someone who could use our services, I'd love to help. Here's how they can reach me directly. And then you give them a link or more contact information, right? So, super important to create raving fans on an ongoing basis. So, really, when you follow these steps, you're going to start to see a network of clients who see you as their go to resource for life. You're going to see a steady stream of referrals from people who trust you implicitly. You're going to see the confidence that comes from knowing that your practice is built on relationships and not luck. Okay. So I want you to think about that. It's super important. This is all possible. This is not a dream. This is all within your reach. But it's important to start with action. So for this week, here's my challenge to you. Pick one client, as I mentioned before, reach out to them with a thoughtful message or resource. Brainstorm one new way to add value beyond that case. Okay. Map out a simple system for regular follow ups and referrals. Okay, for next month, I want you to think bigger, maybe plan a workshop, a webinar, or an event for your client community. Gather at least one testimonial or case study that highlights your impact. And long term, I want you to think about how to build that community, right? How to turn those client interactions into an opportunity to build trust and foster lasting connections long term, because building that community does take time. And that's why I say that's the long term action plan. So the moment your client walks out the door is only the beginning, right? What happens next is entirely up to you. Take these steps, show you care, and watch your practice grow into a powerhouse of loyal clients, referrals, and enjoy that exponential growth. Your clients already trust you to help them through some of life's most challenging moments. Now it's your turn to turn that trust into something even greater, right? A community that sustains your practice for years to come. You've got this. I'm cheering for you, and I can't wait to see what you achieve. Thank you for joining me. And if you haven't subscribed to the podcast yet, please don't forget to do so. And if you're inclined to write a review, I would be most grateful. See you next time.